services beginning. So stay right here, though. Chicago Now starts next.
Ten o'clock, Chicago Now kicks off now. Jake Hamilton joining me, and things are about to get serious. You know why?
Tell me why.
You're making notes on your note cards.
Always.
Jake. I mean, you've got a pen.
I got the pen?
I mean, things are about to get serious.
You never bring pens to write things down?
I don't remember.
Well, when you have the constant genius that flows through your brain, you don't have to write things down. The rest of us have to write little notes.
The preparation involved. And Jake, you have covered, I'm guessing, the movie Titanic from a lot of different angles.
Sure, yeah.
Have you ever done a deep dive into the cuisine that was served?
I haven't. I'm fascinated with it. It's funny enough, on Valentine's Day, that was the movie that my girlfriend and I watched. So we just recently rewatched it just within the last 6 days.
Do you know what my Valentine's Day movie was?
Tell me.
Wuthering Heights.
Oh, was it?
We went and saw it in the theater on Valentine's. It was a good pick. Maggie really liked it.
It was good.
I liked it too.
Let me ask you this, and I was just talking with someone about this. It's a great movie, but whenever I walked out of the theater when I saw it, I overheard a young woman say, "I can't wait to find my Heathcliff." And my initial reaction was, did you just see a different movie than I did? Because what about that relationship says, that's what I want for. It's a 2-hour movie about 2 horrible, toxic people and how they ruin their lives, but because they're good looking, because he looks like Jacob Elordi, that's what you're going for.
And she looks like Margot Robbie.
She looks like Margot Robbie. I gotta be honest.
That is one way of looking. I'm going to take that very question back to Maggie.
It is not the aspirational relation like that. It's a warning movie. It's not. They're not Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. This is not.
No. It gets interesting.
Yeah, it gets. I could do a 2-hour soapbox on how people are misinterpreting whether it's the same way. People watch Wolf of Wall Street. You should not watch Wolf of Wall Street and say I want to be
Jordan.
That's Jordan Belfort. You should not want to be Jordan Belfort. That's not a good thing.
The reason I asked you about Titanic and the
that was a long diversion.
We have the author coming up of a cookbook specifically designed to recreate some of the actual menu.
Cool.
That was served.
That's awesome.
So we're going to dive into that. Also, we're going to be speaking with a couple of runners, marathoners. It's one thing to run 26 miles in a row.
Sure.
And it's a completely different thing to run 26 miles in a row on Antarctica.
Yeah.
Antarctica.
It's unreal. And again, I will emphasize, what is it, 26.2?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you remember where we got that distance from. Where did we get that number from?
From Greece, right?
Because the guy ran that distance.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
To marathon and then
he
died.
Dropped dead.
He dropped dead because he had to deliver a message. And when he got there, he dropped dead. And to celebrate, we show him every year that we can do it without dropping dead.
Now, here's a wild thing, is that both the people who are going to do this marathon on Antarctica have overcome life-threatening heart issues as well. So I can't wait to talk to them. But to kick off the show,
I'm so excited about this. There's a reason we're shooting from this angle so as to not reveal our special guest.
I mean, because he outclasses us.
Look at him. Look at him.
Look at this.
He doesn't even have to speak.
Tweed-suited Antiques Roadshow appraiser, Nico Lowry. Nico, welcome to the program. You look great.
You look amazing.
Thank you. Something I just threw on this morning on my way over to the studio.
It's like just this whole thing.
Yeah, I just my workout clothes.
Yeah, come on. You're dressing down today, really.
Don't take that personally, and you shouldn't know that. But no, not at all. It's so lovely to meet you guys and to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much too for putting me on before the Titanic cookbook and before these great runners.
Exactly.
Because they'd be such a hard act to follow. I don't.
Well, so we have great guests.
They're probably saying the same thing about Nico Lowry. Hey, why don't we just kick it off with a general question? What brings you to town, sir?
Funny you should ask.
Yes.
So tonight at the Gene Siskel Film Center is the showing of a documentary that I was involved in, part of the Art and Architecture, Art and Design Film Festival, the Architecture, Art and Design Film Festival. And this movie is this sort of sweet little story that combines every aspect of my life. And there are not that many aspects of my life, to be honest. One is I currently own and run an auction house in New York City.
Sure.
So I'm an auctioneer and have been for over 30 years. The other is I've spent just about 30 years as an appraiser on the PBS television series Antiques Roadshow.
Which is where, if someone's watching right now and they go, I know him, there's a good chance that's where they know you from.
Almost entirely. That is my legitimate claim to D-list celebrity.
You're on the list, baby.
The doors that don't open for me.
Z range.
Hey, yeah.
So yeah, most people would either recognize my suit or my mustache before me, or they might recognize my voice. A lot of people say, oh, I recognize that voice. I always have the Antiques Roadshow on in the background, and I hear your voice. And the third aspect is, my father was born in Czechoslovakia in 1932. I spent 4 years living in Prague right after the Velvet Revolution when the wall came down. And I've become enamored with all things Czech. And so this film is a documentary on the history of Czech graphic design.
Oh, wow. That's a very niche topic. This is called Identity, a Czech graphic design love story. So tell us a little bit about the love story involved.
So the identity is, graphic design is all about corporate identity. So there's going to be a pun coming up here. I'm just going to foreshadow that pun. So it's the identity of graphic design, and it's a little bit of a road movie. It's a little bit of my story. So my identity about my Czech ancestry and my relationship with Prague. But professionally, as I said, I am so enamored with all things Czech. I actually collect Czech art myself. So this project combined all of my interests. It combined my knowledge of Czech art, my love of Czech art, my ability to be in front of a camera and say something marginally intelligent about art and interesting. And for me, most importantly of all, it was the most extraordinary showcase for me to wear about 12 different suits.
And isn't that really
Honestly,
what's
that's
important?
I realized I couldn't lie to you guys. You'd see right through me, so I just wanted to make that clear.
But when you do something like Antiques Roadshow, obviously you're oftentimes talking to people and getting other people's stories. You're a great interviewer because you're in addition to sort of talking about whatever someone brings in, you're kind of talking about them. Was it weird for you kind of being on the other side of that and kind of having to tell your own story in a way?
So it's a little bit of both, actually. It is weird. I mean, I don't know how comfortable you are talking about yourself.
I always feel awkward when I'm on the other side of the camera not asking you questions.
Yeah, but then when the tables
I'm Nicholas Lowry.
It was also going to museums and meeting curators and talking to them about what's in their collection. So in a way, that was the same kind of an interview that you would have on the Roadshow. So there was so much similarity. And it's funny, the project began in Prague as a Czech miniseries for Czech television, an 8-part miniseries in the Czech language on the history of Czech graphic design, which is a very deep, sort of pedantic dive into the form. And it was so well received that they were like, we have to do something for the international market. And that was the idea, the genesis of the idea of this documentary, which is almost entirely in English. I mean, there's probably 10 minutes that are in Czech with subtitles. When they were looking around for someone to do it, somebody recommended me with my Czech background, with my interest in Czech art, and with my experience in front of the camera. And I was the only interview they held, and I got the
No kidding.
So that was really flattering and very nice.
I've got to ask, because I love that we're having this film festival here in the city of Chicago, because it's such a cliche thing. I don't mean for it to be cliche, but when people come to town and they ask, what is the thing that I should do? I always say architecture tour.
Oh, for sure.
I find the architecture in the city, just the stories behind it, to be the most fascinating thing in the world. Is there a Czech architectural influence within the city of Chicago?
That's a great question. I hope to find out. I only got here yesterday. I'm going to do a tour.
I got you.
But I think there's great Czech history here. I mean, there's Polish, there's Czech.
Of course.
And certainly Czech architecture is among some of the best in the world, depending on which era you're coming through, which you're talking about. And Czechoslovakia, like most of Eastern Europe, is special because after the Second World War, the communists came in, right? So communist era architecture from the 1940s onward is not that special. But anything pre-1940 is great. And yes, we actually ran into some people last night at the hotel bar.
As one does.
Who had come to Chicago specifically for this film festival.
Come on.
No way.
And they'd driven for 4 hours and they couldn't be happier. So it's a great thing for people to do who are from Chicago. And these kind of film festivals are so sweet and so charming. And, as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully people will agree with me, it's sort of the time in the world now when we need nice little fun things to hang our hat on, right? Something that you literally forget about everything else for an hour and a half. This movie is 85 minutes long.
Love it.
Which is great. It's not a big investment of time. It's perfect for the sort of the ADD society that we're in. This movie in particular runs on fast snippets of graphic design. You're seeing them now, so you get some of the architecture, you get some of the art. And it's a fun time, and obviously I would recommend people to see it for selfish reasons, but just for general reasons too. Everybody who's seen it so far really has just walked away saying, who knew right? This was not something I ever thought existed. And boy, wasn't that fun, wasn't that sweet.
Well, I'm looking at, just to your point, the graphic design and everything about it, and it looks really fantastic. You guys did just such an amazing job. And I often say, you know, particularly with film festivals like this, you know, we talk a lot, you know, we do a lot of cast interviews for you know, Marvel this and Star Wars that. And listen, and those are great. Obviously, I'm a fan of those. But those don't need our help. Those are going to be just fine. Isn't it nice to help out a film that you know, that's
not Godzilla.
It's not Godzilla. That's right. Exactly right.
This is the antithesis of Godzilla.
But has its own merits, as Godzilla does.
I remember, so I actually have been, funny enough, I went to Prague when I was right out of college, back doing the whole backpack Europe thing, and I was traveling with a guy who had a way with words, and we had what we called an open journal policy, where we would write our adventures, and you could read the other person's. And he described, I remember, I don't know what, I'm having a moment here because I remember his verbiage here. He wrote about the architecture in Prague that it was built with a, quote, sort of sinister foreboding. That's how, he's a very good writer.
That's interesting that just unlocked it.
It unlocked a memory. And then I do remember looking up and seeing like gargoyles and that kind of, like hanging off the corners of some of those old buildings. Are those the pre-1920?
Oh, those are those. The city is a medieval city, which was largely untouched during the Second World War. It wasn't the only bombs that fell on Prague during the Second World War. Literally accident, like whoops, the bomb bay doors opened. So one church was destroyed, but the city itself remains as intact as it was in the 14th, 15th, and 16th century when some of these buildings were built. And there definitely is this sort of, you can see some sinister foreboding, but other people just see it as this beautiful Gothic architecture. So, you know, almost like you can look at a painting and somebody can say, wow, that's really happy. And someone say, that's kind of scary. And so architecture in its artistic way can have that effect on people.
It certainly did on the guy I was traveling around with. The other thing I remember was I saw some beer logos.
Yes.
Okay? And I feel like we tried that beer. Is it the Pilsner or Kel?
That's exactly right. Pilsner.
Tell us about that element of the, and they cost 15 cents.
Come on.
I'm not even kidding. The year, I think it was 2000, the year 2000, it cost 15.
Somebody shouted out the Czech word for beer there. Yes, pivo.
Pivo, is that okay? Right. Nice work.
Well done.
15 cents. Yes, it was Deja. That is, our producer studied abroad there. Tell us about that part of the film there, where you kind of dive into that.
I will. I'm going to say, I mean, you guys clearly seem to be having a lot of fun doing the show, and you know what it's like to be in an environment where it's a great team, you know, great camaraderie. That's what making this movie was like.
Wow.
We traveled all over the Czech Republic, by the way, Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic, Czechia. This is like the country that can't settle on a name. That's a whole separate 10-minute segment there. But traveling around the country was absolutely beautiful and incredibly fun, and among the things we did were go to the Pilsner Urquell brewery and go into their archives to do a deep dive into the history of beer coasters.
Cool.
Of which about 17 seconds made it into the movie.
Oh,
but I mean, you know how
isn't that the worst?
But the important thing is, there are the best parts from the brewery are when I'm downstairs in, I guess, the brew hall central, where these ginormous vats of beer, and we're pouring beer out and we're drinking it, and it's very hard to drink beer with a mustache because you end up getting this milky foam. The whole thing was just extraordinary. The beer is great. It's no longer 15 cents. Now I think it's more like $1.75.
Wow. Okay, that's still decent.
No, so Czechoslovakia is definitely known for their beer. And for me, just to take this, and I'm a big fan of pivo, a big fan, but to take this, you know, unusual look and be like, well, what is the design of the labels like? Because, you know, whether it's a Coca-Cola bottle or Marlboro cigarettes, we all know brand, you know, this is what graphic design does. This is why graphic design is part of our life every day. You don't even realize. It's literally all around us.
It's all around us, right.
The branding of the show, and so to just think of beer from the branding point of view, I was like, this is great. Like, who would have thought? You know, another good reason to go to a pub.
That is unreal. All right, but well, before we let you go, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about your experience on Antiques Roadshow. Sure. It's a show that means so much to so many people. And, you know, whenever I watch shows like that, I always sort of wonder, what are we not seeing? What is sort of the behind-the-scenes aspect of some of these moments that at home we don't know what goes into the production of it? Or are there things that you think would surprise people if they went into the making of a show like that?
You know, the short answer is yes. I think there are things that people would be surprised about, but not really surprised. I will predicate everything I'm about to say by saying that our producer would not like me talking about this without her permission.
That's usually the best thing to say right before we go into it.
That's right. It's like, oh my God, if she finds out, I'm dead. very little happens that you don't imagine. I mean, there's no real secret ingredients that go into the sausage. Probably the only thing that people may not realize, actually there's two things that I found. One is none of the appraisers on the show are paid. We're all volunteer.
Really?
God, 30 years of volunteering.
Wow. Your agent must love that. Yeah, 10% of nothing.
10% of nothing. That's probably why I don't have an agent. Doesn't bother my tailor. My tailor still gets paid.
There you go.
The other thing is once we see an item on the show, it's not like the cameras go on immediately and we start talking about it. When we see a piece on the show, there's usually a 2, 3, maybe even a 4-hour lag before the cameras start rolling. So we do have time to do some research. So
interesting.
If you hear us spouting off these dates and facts, and like, how the hell do they remember?
I honestly, I kind of thought that. I just thought it was all up there.
I love the line of questioning because I had that same thought too. My gosh, these guys are just walking encyclopedias. What does that process look like? What can you tell us about what those 3 or 4 hours look like? Where do you start? Is it a website or something?
Just to be very clear too, there are thousands of people who come through the door every day. So this isn't like 3 soft hours where we can go to the coffee shop, have a cigarette, have an espresso. We're like desperately trying to do research in between talking to the next person who's there. So it's not glamorous, but we make it work, and we can do it on our phones. We all have our computers there to do research if we need to. And generally speaking, I mean, the people who are on the show are so smart and know their stuff inside and out. And they may not know the dates, right? So basically what you're looking up are the facts that will escape you. But the broad strokes are known to all the specialists. So it's not usually, you don't need a whole 3 hours to do the research. You know, you just have that time to do what you need to do. And you also might find out an interesting historical tidbit about the backside of the piece, for example.
Is it ever difficult to break the news to someone that what they brought in is just a piece of worthless junk? And see the
is it horrible that those are the ones that I love? Those are the moments when they put it down with such confidence.
I just appreciate so much the fact that I told you I'm not allowed to talk about this and you just leave.
Yeah, exactly. We'll dive in.
And I'm just going to say...
Because what you basically said was,
Marsha,
this stuff's really
put some chum in the water.
That's right. You know, it's very different. Nobody wants to go on national television and tell a little old lady that their precious heirloom was made in China, you know, 13 years ago. Right. But people do that, and... yeah, it is a lot of fun when it happens. I mean, I don't do it.
Sure.
You know, like a doctor with bedside manner and bedside etiquette, you learn 1,000 different ways to tell somebody that their cherished possession really isn't that good.
But then also there is the flip side too, where I would imagine those moments where, as you're doing research in those 3 or 4 hours, you go, "Oh my God, this is way more valuable than I thought it might be," or they realize.
So generally not. Like I said, the broad strokes are there. Generally, it's not like, crap, I screwed this up by a factor of 10. It's, you know what I mean?
But so you can clock it pretty quickly.
Clocking the value is the easiest thing. What we will find out is, wow, that story is better than I thought. Oh my God, wait, this has to do with Napoleon? I didn't realize that. That kind of a thing.
Yeah. Gotta ask too, how did you become an appraiser to begin with?
What an excellent question. The short answer is I'm 3rd generation in the business. So I was born into a family of antiquarian book dealers. The auction house that we run was started by my grandfather's nephew in 1941. My father took over in 1969. I took over in 2000. And everybody in my family has an area of specialty. So my father is still an autograph specialist. My mother's an expert in modern first editions. And as I slowly got into the family business, I wanted to find an area that no one else did. I didn't want to do what my parents did. Yeah. But so I gravitated toward posters, towards graphic design, and it was like falling in love. The minute I started doing it, I never looked back.
Wow.
That is cool.
It's so funny. You know, I randomly thought of you probably 10 years ago or so.
I can't wait to know where this is going.
I was interviewing Stanley, and I had him sign like a Amazing Spider-Man thing. And as he was signing it, he said, "Can I make it out to you, or are you going to?" And I said, "Oh, you're asking if I'm going to sell it." I went, "No, I'm not going to sell it. You can make it out to me." So it's very cool. He wrote to my friend Jake, Excelsior Stanley.
Fantastic.
But then immediately I thought, is it, oh, it's not that it doesn't matter, it's going to be framed on my wall forever, but like, is it monetarily, it's worthless now because he wrote my name?
It's not worthless, but it's worth less than if it was just his signature.
Sure.
Unless somebody else named Jake collects Stanley.
Oh, exactly right.
In which case, that's your perfect client right there.
And it's so funny because I do, you know, by nature of doing the celebrity interview, I get sometimes I get stuff autographed, and I prefer it to be personalized because that's the thing is I'm not planning on now my descendants one day may strongly disagree with that sentiment whenever they inherit all this crap, and
they are going to inherit it.
Yeah, and it all says to Jake, so they might be deeply unhappy that it's all personalized.
It's possible, but it's great that you have that. People collect for all sorts of reasons, and I don't know if you're a Stan Lee fan or a comic fan. That's a wonderful thing to have. Yeah. It's superb.
I like that. How do you guys choose? Like you said, so many people come to these shows. How do you guys pick and choose who you're going to actually feature on the show?
Again, that's a producer question. It's based on a number of different criteria. First and foremost, that they own the material that they're selling.
Sure.
First and foremost, that they don't really know how much it's worth.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd you get that? Oh, I bought it at Sotheby's last week for $1 million at a public auction. What is it worth now? Exactly what you. That's not TV.
Yeah. Right? I'm a big fan of there's a time and place for everything, right? You were mentioning last night you were at the hotel bar having a drink, having a good time. How often do people try to come up to you on the street with a thing and go hey, how much is this worth?
So luckily, almost never. I don't know if people are walking around the carrying their antiques. To be fair, that's
my first edition.
That's right. So I have this Ming vase. If you take a look at it, so that doesn't really happen. But people do tend to recognize me on the street and say hello, or they say nice suit or something like that. But not like a dentist. They're like, I'm a dentist. Oh, I have a toothache.
Oh, can you take a look at that?
Right here? Yeah, I don't really get that too often.
All right. Nico, this is fascinating stuff. Nico Lowry, and the film is Identity, a Czech graphic design love story. Showtime 6:15.
6:30 tonight.
6:30.
And let's just say the Art, Architecture, and Design Film Festival taking place here in Chicago. It's all weekend long. Not just my little film, but all these other fantastic movies. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, this would be my recommendation to someone who's not from Chicago. What you can do in Chicago this weekend and have a great time doing it.
There's going to be a Q&A after.
Q&A with you.
Get the chance to say hello.
There is going to be a Q&A after.
I love that. And also too, again, I just want to give a shout out the Architecture Center.
Oh, they're so good.
Absolute
right down the hallway
in the city of Chicago. My mom was here a few months back, and I've lived in Chicago a long time, and we walked by it a million times. And I think one day she just sort of went like, "What? We're
going in,"
and we popped in there and just got lost for an hour or so. And it's unreal.
So great. Thank you so much for coming in.
Man, this is a real pleasure.
Pleasure is mine, guys. Thank you so much. This is so much.
Jake's going to drag you down to his cubicle where he's got all
I got all my stuff. Yeah, exactly right.
It's true. All right, we're going to take a quick break, everybody. When we come back, speaking of history here, we are going to take a deep dive into the culinary situation aboard the Titanic, actual menu items, and how to recreate them when we come back.
It's I got.
Right now.
Welcome back. Just about 10:25 right here on Chicago Now. You know, we were just talking about, I mean, the Titanic is a topic that I think has fascinated everybody. And then obviously, you know, the movie comes out, and can you believe the movie's almost 30 years old?
Is that right?
Yeah, it came out in 97.
Stood the test of time.
It really,
just like the legend of this boat.
I just rewatched it last week, and it holds up so incredibly well. And there's so many different angles about the Titanic that you can explore, right? There's so many different aspects of it. But one that I didn't really think about until our producer was talking to me about this was what they ate.
What they ate.
You know, obviously you've got the first, second, and third class, and you've got sort of a wide range. I'm assuming there's probably a different meal every night for, you know, certain decks on the ship. And so that's where we're going to for our next segment. It's a new cookbook, really. So it's first of all, it's two different books. It's The Last Night on the Titanic, Unsinkable Drinking, Dining, and Style, and Titanic, the Official Cookbook. We're going to talk with the author of both, Veronica. Veronica, is it Hinky?
Yes, it is. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Look at you. You look fantastic. What a great backdrop. First of all, this is already amazing. But I am fascinated with this, and I know the cookbooks, they have some things that are inspired by certain things, and they have inspired by characters from the movie, but then also sometimes they're based on real things. Where did you get all of this information from?
Well, I researched menus that I found. Many of them are online. I looked at old newspaper clippings, and I also read letters home. Many passengers wrote letters home about what they ate because the Titanic was just the most fashionable thing at the time, whether it be restaurant or ship. It was the thing. And so when people would be traveling aboard, when people were traveling aboard the Titanic, they wrote letters home about the lunch that they ate. And so I studied a lot of those different things to put everything together.
This sounds so fascinating. Okay, Jake was mentioning how there's different levels to the ship. Immediately, my thought was I'd probably be a fan of the food on the third class. You know,
a lot of beer down there.
Beer and perhaps some I don't know.
That's where you and I would be.
Exactly.
On the ship.
I wouldn't know what anything on the first level was even called.
Yeah.
But what kind of variety are we talking about here, Veronica? Give us an idea of what the menu entailed.
Well, you know, you bring up a good point. I always say, you know, there were Escoffier dinners every night in first class, and second class wasn't that far behind. But there was a huge difference between those two classes and third class. And some of the food in third class was delicious as well. It was unprecedented for third class passengers aboard the Titanic in those years. It was one of the first times they could travel without having to bring all their own food, if you can imagine, for what could be a whole week-long journey. They had gruel on the menu in third class, but they also had things like roast beef, and their big hearty meal was the middle of the day. Whereas for supper and tea, they had just heartier snacks. But like you mentioned, in first class, things were so opulent. There was lamb with mint sauce. There were beautiful buffets of cheese and cold meats for lunch every day. Really beautiful offerings of different things. There was filet mignon. One of the most popular meals that people like to recreate now is that last dinner on April 14th that was served in first class, and it was 11 courses, and it included filet mignon. There was a vegetarian course of a vegetarian option that you could choose from, and just a beautiful spread of different foods. But like I say, you don't have to be an Escoffier chef to entertain at home with a book club meeting or a movie night party. You can make baked apples, which were in first class for breakfast on the menus. You can serve that same assortment of cheeses that was served every day for lunch in first class. There were cheeses like Cheshire, Cheddar, Roquefort, Stilton, and Gorgonzola. We have a lot of those cheeses now, and it was the same assortment every day, so we know that those were popular then.
You know, obviously the ship sank, was 1912, I believe.
Yes.
So it's over 100 years by this point. Were you surprised at, because a lot of the things you're naming obviously are things that we're still eating today. Were you surprised at how little the culinary world has changed over the 100+ years? Or were there some things on their menus where you went, oh, I don't know if that's still a thing people are going to eat today?
You really hit on a great point. Things are very similar now, and there aren't that many things that are unheard of. One of the menus was recently uncovered through a Titanic auction a few years back, just a few years ago, and apricot bordaloo, which is an apricot tart with an almond paste, that was on that menu, and I had never seen it before on any other of the menus, and that's a little bit unusual, and it seems to be trending again on Instagram and social media, TikTok. The apricots bordaloo had just been invented in Paris, and it's an apricot tart, like I mentioned, and that's a good example of how some of the things are rebounding now. But for the most part, a lot of the items were what we have today. One of the most unusual things that people talk about today is the punch romaine that was available in first class as a palate cleanser, and it was shaved ice, and there was some lemon over it, lemon juice poured over it, and it's a delicious palate cleanser. It can also be an appetizer. So there are a few things that have really kind of been pulled from those menus that people are enjoying today, but for the most part, not too different from what we have today.
That's so fascinating. So when you identify what they were actually eating, what is your process, Veronica, to actually dive into how to recreate them? Whether it's something on the food menu, or I understand your cookbook actually has drinks that were served, not just the punch, but other drinks as well. So how did you go about creating recipes for the items once you identify them?
Well, that's another great question. We don't have any other recipes. So what I did was started from scratch with the ingredients that I know would have been in, for example, the peaches and chartreuse jelly that was served for dessert in first class on that last night. And chartreuse is another thing that's rebounding. It's a liqueur from France. It's made by Carthusian monks. It's very limited in quantity now, but it was very popular then. And it's made from botanicals and herbs, and it has a lovely evergreeny flavor. So I worked with that to make a jelly. I used that ingredient, and it's such a distinct ingredient that it worked really well for me to come up with a recipe for the jelly. And then cling peaches are served with that. A very simple thing to do. And makes me think of the fact that wine jellies made with wines or liqueurs, were on many of the menus, many different menus. And so that's one thing to think about too, that doesn't really cost a lot or take a lot of effort, is to serve a variety of different jellies, like the chartreuse jelly I mentioned, wine jelly, and things like that for your get-together.
I love this. Veronica, we have just about a minute left. Where can people find these books? Because it seems like it's the perfect, kind of, no pun intended, kind of the recipe for having a fun, 30th anniversary of the movie's coming up, having a fun Titanic movie night. And if you're going to do it, you might as well have an, Titanic-inspired meal. So where can people find these books?
Well, they're available in bookstores everywhere and on Amazon.
Can I just say this is a very dog-friendly show.
Yes, you're in good company.
Yeah, we love the dog
Pooch obviously
barking.
wants his or her voice heard.
Yes, exactly right. The dog deserves a cameo on the show too. Veronica Hincke, the books are The Last Night on the Titanic, Unsinkable Drinking, Dining, and Style, as well as Titanic, the official cookbook. This has been really fascinating. Thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
I really love the series she has going, because we interviewed her some months back.
Oh, really?
She had done a whole Great Gatsby cookbook as well. And having watched the Baz Luhrmann edition.
We just had Baz Luhrmann on the show
today. You did? Oh my gosh. Just looking at the colors involved, like the opulence.
I mean, how many parties have you gone to where you're looking around and you go, oh, you totally just saw Great Gatsby?
Yes.
Off that whole...
right. Hey, I hosted one myself.
And we've all done it. Like that, even like the font and the whole, everyone's done the Great Gatsby
Art Deco. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, oh my gosh. Talk about ambition here. All right, I've run a couple marathons myself right here in Chicago, but that's nothing, okay? This is flat course. I like to throw that around when I can, Jake. Flat course, perfect weather. These next two guests that are going to join us right after this break not only came back from life-threatening heart conditions, they are about to run 26.2 miles on none other than the island of Antarctica. And Tokyo as well.
And Tokyo.
Of course, I don't want to minimize Tokyo. I'm a little more fascinated by running on a sheet of ice for 26.2 miles, but we're going to be joined by Mike and Giselle when we come back right after this. Stay with us.
Anthony, as a runner of 5 marathons myself, no, I wish I could. I wish I could. 2 marathons you've run.
Under the belt.
Wow.
But that's nothing compared to these next two guests.
Yeah. Unreal.
Unreal. Okay, so 2 local runners are about to secure some major accomplishments. After experiencing heart challenges, they are going to participate in the Antarctica and Tokyo marathons. Please welcome to the show Mike Sheehy and Giselle Izaguirre. Did I get your last name right?
Izaguirre.
Izaguirre.
You're totally fine.
Okay. Yeah. Swing and a miss by me. But anyway, we, first of all, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Let's, before we look ahead to Antarctica and Tokyo, you guys have, it's Heart Health Month.
Yep.
Will you guys run us through kind of your own background with that in mind here? You've overcome some health challenges, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, so when I was training for marathons in 2016, 2017 timeframe, I noticed that my heart wasn't just holding up, because it just felt like I was bonking all the time, just that energy was lagging. So you try everything, new fuels, new training plans, talk to people. And so obviously, sadly, like most people, didn't go see my cardiologist right away. Talked to my brothers, asked for advice from friends. So as time went on during the training block, one of my brothers said, "Hey, you really need to go see your cardiologist."
I mean, that's good, because a lot of friends and buddies who go,
don't worry about it. Rub some dirt in it.
Yeah.
And so ultimately ended up going to the Mayo Clinic, met with the doctors up there, and they looked at me and they kindly said, "It's not if, it's just when you're going to get a pacemaker."
Wow.
So what was happening is my heart couldn't keep its rhythm. It wouldn't climb as your heart naturally does as you exercise, run. So it was one of those things that they said most people do ignore. And so they implanted the pacemaker 5 days after the New York City Marathon, and I had the privilege a few months later run the Boston Marathon with my pacemaker.
Wow.
So again, it's all about that quality of life. And for me, it is just truly, a blessing that I work at Abbott, and we have such great products at Abbott like my pacemaker, that allow me to have and continue to have that quality of life.
Do you credit the training for the marathon for being able to notice that something was off? Like if you were living every day-to-day life, do you think maybe you wouldn't have noticed?
So I didn't realize that until the cardiologist at Mayo Clinic said that. They said, because we're athletes, all of us here, right? You
The way you motioned to him, but not to me, was very, the way that you and not you and you are athletes. It's fine, go ahead. Keep going,
but they
Mike.
do talk, we are in tune with our bodies. You know when something's wrong. You know when something's off. And the good thing now is with Apple Watches, Garmin watches, you have tons of data. Right. And so one of the things I showed up with was all my data. And that really did help the doctors and prove to them that I'm just not crazy, I'm not overtrained, but they could actually see that data. But again, they then could do smart, purposeful tests on their own.
Giselle, let's go over to you. Tell us a little bit about your health journey getting you to this point where you're about to run Tokyo.
Sure. So I was born with a heart murmur and have had 2 open heart surgeries when I was really young. And even when my mom was going through her pregnancy with me, the doctors told her they didn't know if I was going to make it. And even if I did, they didn't know how long I was going to live. So I kind of always grew up with this in the back of my mind, feeling a little fragile. And I started running in 2023, so I'm a relatively newer runner. I keep on following up with the cardiologist regularly to make sure I'm in good health and everything. Thankfully, have had no complications with it. Very blessed to, be able to run and take on these long distances. So it's always been in the back of my mind, but no complications, just a history of those 2 heart surgeries.
Was that scary, sort of taking on that challenge, knowing, okay, I mean, listen, for anybody running a marathon is a massive, massive deal, but knowing that you've had this history of complications in the past, were you a little worried at all about taking those first few steps?
Oh, of course. I feel like anyone naturally with these challenges is going to be a little nervous. It still will always be in the back of your mind because you have to take a little bit more precaution, and like Mike said, you have to be more in tune with your body to make sure you feel okay and you're not overexerting yourself. So definitely, for sure, you're a little nervous, but you can't let the fear stop you from chasing your goals.
Were you young, old enough to remember going through that?
No, I was really young, so I don't remember the surgeries themselves, but yeah, growing up with it, it was always in the back of my mind, or feeling nervous that it was gonna complicate things for me later in life, so.
There's, statistically speaking, there's a chance that someone right now is watching and they're thinking, I did feel something weird the other day, or I did, what advice would you have? I mean, if worst case scenario is you go to the doctor and they say it's nothing, then cool, great, go on with your life. But would you guys recommend, you mentioned being in tune with your body, listening to these things. What advice would you guys have for someone who right now is thinking, yeah, there's something does kind of feel off, actually?
Don't wait. Honestly, it took me well over 6 months to be proactive, right? So really, I was more reactionary. So my thing is go. You only get one chance at this, and to self-diagnose, do WebMD, those kind of things, that's not, go see a real doctor, go see your general practitioner or cardiologist, but don't wait. I mean, it's not worth it.
Makes sense. Let's talk about Team Abbott, okay? The bib is, how do you get involved in this, and what does it mean to run under the aegis of Team Abbott?
So if you want to enter to run with Team Abbott, you go to abbott.com/marathons. You enter into this contest. Basically, you give them your running story, your background, and they select a few people to run these majors. Abbott is actually the sponsor for all the World Major Marathons.
Wow.
So if you're interested in running the World Major Marathons with them, I highly suggest you enter. And they select people that have gone through health challenges similar to us, and we're all taking a step towards the start line despite having these challenges and not letting it confine us or set us back.
How many have you each run so far?
Combined we have run well over 100 marathons combined.
How's the pie chart? That's unbelievable. We got to talk about Antarctica. I can't. Yeah. All the photos I've seen of Antarctica, it looks like one big sheet of snow and ice. What is it? So this is not exactly the flat, fast streets of Chicago, Illinois.
No,
What's it going to be like?
So it's minus 30 degrees. It will be a little bit challenging with the ice. There's a lot of environmental considerations that go in, so you can't take certain things onto the continent. So it is really a self-sustained race. And again, it will be through essentially 2 of the major stations there. So you go out to a a station that's run by a country. Then you go back to another one just in case there's a medical emergency for any of the runners. But again, it's a very small group of runners that get an opportunity to do this. So for me, it's a true blessing to be able to hit this bucket list item. But again, there are a lot of logistical challenges you have to deal with, but also the gear. The great thing for us, many runners didn't like the cold winter, but for myself and my wife, who's also going to run it, you know, we've had the luxury to test out gear all winter long with the very cold weathers we had here in Chicago.
What does the outfit look like? I mean, like, how many layers are we talking?
So it's basically 3 layers, one on your skin, sort of one an insulation layer, then an outer shell.
Yeah, to block wind.
Yeah, to block
wind. And
wind.
what about footwear?
So again, you're running in trail shoes. That's the best option for you, and like a wool sock or some sock with maybe a light liner.
Okay.
Wow. Giselle, we got to ask about Tokyo.
Yeah.
What are the elements going to be like there? Obviously, it's a different environment than in Antarctica, but not without its challenges.
It's actually one of the flatter majors.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's very similar to Chicago, so luckily I didn't have to adjust any training or anything like that. It's going to be relatively warmer than Chicago, thankfully. So I trained on the treadmill. Honestly, I fear the cold so bad.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's a relatively flat course.
When is the race?
It is March 1st. So
it's coming up. Wow.
You're just a couple weeks out. How about you?
It's the middle of March. The date floats based on weather.
Oh, it floats based on weather. We're going from station. They don't have cities and towns on there. There's stations.
Wow. It's just like the thing.
I'm picturing just like a flag in a tent.
And Kurt Russell with a big sombrero.
Exactly. Well, good luck to both of you. Let's get one more time, because I know it can be hard to get into these majors. All right. If folks do have a story they want to share and maybe run for Team Abbott, where can they go to find out more info and maybe submit their story?
they go to abbott.com/marathon.
Okay.
Abbott.com/marathons.
Thank you both so much, Mike and Giselle. Good luck.
Unreal.
Good
guys. This
luck. Send pictures.
Will do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. As I mentioned, February is Heart Month, and so, I mean, question everyone should probably consider, and that is, if someone goes into cardiac arrest around you, would you know what to do? A lot of us took CPR classes way back in high school.
I was going to say freshman year.
Have you done a refresher?
No,
I remember taking baby CPR when we were pregnant, but that knowledge, I mean, now that I think about it, this is actually kind of scary, because now that I think about it, I do need a refresher.
Sure.
It was only like, within the last 7 or 8 years, but we are going to get a refresher course and hear from someone who sprung into action in a very heroic way locally when he was in that situation. So stick with us for those stories and the impact that CPR and an AED certification can have on saving a life when we come back after this.
Urine Liquidators.
All right, welcome back. You never know when you may need to save a life, and February being Heart Month is the perfect time to get certified in CPR and AED. And we're joined by a couple gentlemen to talk about this topic. Jordan Goldstein, who has a story himself when he did spring into action suddenly, and then Brian Paul is the founder of an organization called Saving Tiny Hearts, which we're about to learn all about. But Jordan, I want to start with you. You were enjoying yourself at an event when suddenly something happened that was unexpected. Will you kind of run us through that story, and then we'll go from there?
Sure. So I'm an orthopedic surgeon by training, and a lot of friends and family know I'm a physician. I get called all the time just on the side of, you know, hey, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? And we were at an event, and someone said, hey, is Jordan around? Jordan around. I hear my name being screamed. And usually when I get called for something like that, it's an older person who's diabetic, who's fallen over, or someone's vasovagal and or a sprained ankle. I come over there, I see a 13-year-old girl on the ground, and my first instinct is that this is not good. And so I get down to evaluate the situation. She's not responding, but she's still breathing, she still has a pulse. I said, okay, first thing I said, call 911. So, because we don't know what's going on with this. So that's the first thing you should always do. After that, I lost breath and I called for an AED on the premises. They didn't have one. And so at that point, I began CPR on this 13-year-old girl because I lost breathing, I lost pulse, and you have 200 people, you know, around this event. It was at a bar mitzvah, and there's and 200 people watching me. But once I started CPR, it's like the room had closed off. I was in my own box with this girl, and you know, I was directly focused on what we were doing. I couldn't even hear any conversation or anyone screaming or crying in the background. So I did the CPR, and fortunately, I gave her a chance to live, and she lived.
Wow. I mean, because we all want to believe that we would be the kind of person to step forward in a scenario like that, but until you're actually put in that situation, you don't know. You don't, you know.
And this is the exception, not the rule. I understand, statistically speaking, most folks who have a cardiac event do not get that level of care before paramedics arrive. Yeah. Is that right?
I believe that's true. I mean, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, I'm not a cardiologist, but I will tell you that level of care, I really think, gives that person an ability, a higher chance of survival, significantly. I mean, you could be delayed without 8 minutes, 10 minutes before EMS arrives, without any blood pumping, without any oxygenation. That's a totally different story. So I think learning how to do CPR and being able to use an AED really can increase the person's risk of survival, sometimes 2 to 3 times that chance. And it's a simple thing to do. I mean, it's not, listen, I as a surgeon, I've been trained to deal with complex situations and try to remain calm in certain situations. But this, you don't have to be a doctor to do this. Anyone can learn CPR. It's less than a day. Of course, it's a half a day. And you rely on that skill set. You use those skills to really give that person a chance to live, and maybe your loved one that you could save. I mean, it's a simple thing to do, and everyone should really learn how to do it.
I love that. Brian, it's such a coincidence that you guys are here. My girlfriend is a teacher, and the topic of CPR actually came up the other day, and I asked her, you know, are you CPR certified? And she goes, of course, I'm a teacher. Of course I'm CPR certified. And then I kind of thought, like, oh, of course you would need to be. And I think that's such a valuable thing.
Not all teachers are. It's in our school district, they're not.
That's so fascinating to me. I would have thought it would have been a requirement. That's something that's actually kind of important, that you're kind of trying to make it mandatory. I don't know if mandatory is the right word, but trying to make it happen.
A little bit about our story. My oldest son has had 3 open heart surgeries. We were young and stupid, and in a matter of 4 hours, it was undetected. We had no idea. And we went through a growing up period very quickly. So our organization, the Saving Tiny Heart Society, what we do is one thing. We raise money for congenital heart defect research. So the 2 people you just had on a moment ago, I've run 0 marathons, by the way.
Same.
Yeah. But what they were born with, 1% of all kids that are born in the world, it's the #1 birth defect, are born with a heart defect. So we raise money for congenital heart defect research. We are entirely volunteer based. But we had met the family of the young lady who he had saved, and met Jordan as well. And we honored them at our last gala. We have a gala every year in Chicago. And doing what we do and raise money for congenital heart defect research, so many of these kids, they do well over time, but you hear these stories all the time. A kid collapsing on the ice rink. This stuff happens all the time. And the timeliness of getting someone with CPR or an AED on them is imperative to their success or likelihood of surviving. So this is a bolt-on event of what we do as an organization, and we thought it was extremely important to just get more people certified. And hearing this story, we live in the same town, same community here, and the young lady lived in the same town as well. We're all neighbors essentially, and we didn't know each other at the time, but it's imperative that people know this. Anybody, as he said, anybody can do it.
Will you refresh us on the process of getting certified, the time commitment involved, any costs involved, and the importance? Because I've done the CPR. I remember, as a young parent, we did the baby CPR training class at the time. AED, no. I would not know how to do a defibrillator. Yeah. To this day, I wouldn't know. Yeah. What is the process like to get up to speed here?
Well, it's about a 3 or 4 hour process. It'll be. We actually have a free event this coming Sunday at noon in Buffalo Grove.
Awesome.
And there's a little room left if people still want to sign up for it. But essentially, it's the first hour and a half is the video seminar. They teach you everything, and then you do the live training for the next hour or so. And I think it's hour and a half on top of that. And you get your certificate. So it's not a very long process. It could save someone's life. So,
in terms of costs,
this is a free event. We're sponsoring it as an organization, which is we have.
That was great.
Yeah,
I love that. And really, to use an AED is very. You push the button, and it really reads off the instructions for you. So
it talks them out.
It talks them out.
Yes. Through it.
Yeah, it talks you through it. So you'll learn. You'll do a test run on the AED device, but it'll power on, and you put the pads on, and it'll say. It'll detect a rhythm, and it'll say everyone clear, so it'll shock if it needs to. So it's really relatively simple to use the AED.
And to your point, I think I learned CPR, I think my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
But when you're 14, how much was soaking in that much? And I, 20 years later, I do need to kind of have that refresher as an adult, because then it actually might.
Sunday.
Yeah, honestly, it really sounds incredible. You said you guys have a couple of spots left?
Yeah, well, we're not going to turn people away, but yeah, we have a couple spots left, and you can go to savingtinyhearts.org, which is our website, and the information's there to register. It's free to register. We just need to know the numbers who are coming. So.
And if folks, short notice, couple days out, can't make this particular event, how often do similar events happen where it's like, okay, we're making our list for things that we got to do here in 2026. They want to make sure that they're up to speed on these. How often do these kinds of events happen?
You can always find events, I believe, but call your fire station, find out from them. They're the ones that have the best resources to know that sort of stuff as well. And we're training seminars.
Local hospitals, American Red Cross. So they'll have.
I want to give a shout out to Saving Tiny Hearts, because this is something, if someone's watching right now and they say, listen, I am CPR certified, I recognize the value in this, I want to help get the word out. How can they get involved? How can they get in touch with you guys too? Because this is a story that I think is going to be really important to a lot of people.
Reach out to us and go to our website and contact us there. But our overall mission is to hopefully make this sort of thing not needed at one point in time. So we're thankful for everyone that signed up, and hopefully none of them will ever have to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if there's someone like Jordan in the room. Jordan Goldstein, Brian Paul, thank you guys both so much. This is just such an important reminder. As a parent, I can't even tell you. It's like, okay.
Half a day, just.
I don't want to have to use it, but a half a day could save a life.
Yes.
Such an important message. There's the info on your screen. We thank you both for being here.
This is awesome. Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, another hour of Chicago Now right after this. Stay with us, everybody.
hoops.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. It is 11 o'clock in the morning on your Friday. Look at all those people at the Bean. You know, it doesn't matter what the temperatures are in Chicago. You always see a crowd there at the Bean. And this is like every other day in the city of Chicago. But I will say, when I stepped outside this morning, I know we had reported that there would be colder weather out there. The temperatures would be cooler. But I must be honest, I was not expecting that kind of shock initially right away.
Oh, I know, because we've been so spoiled the last week or so.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of back to reality. I was looking outside. I was like, wait a second, there is that snow. We've been talking about it all morning, but I didn't actually believe it until I saw it. But it's not stopping anyone from going and enjoying the Bean.
It was
it is good to have you back.
I know, it feels like it's been months since I've been sitting in this seat.
Did you enjoy your vacation?
I mean, it's been at least over a month, I know, or at least it feels like it. I don't know.
6 days.
Yes, I enjoyed my vacation. I came back, I was totally good. Then bam, I got some type of sickness. So my best advice to people out there, make sure you wash those hands and disinfect as much as you can, because I don't know where I got this.
It's inevitable sometimes when you're traveling, especially. I mean, you're
7 pounds down.
Hey. That's not
Maybe it's rough there. Okay, let's talk about what we have coming up on the show, because we do have a really exciting show. You know, Kenzie and Roman, we haven't seen them in a while, but they're going to join us here in studio to talk about some of the trending news in and around Chicago, especially when we're talking about the Chicago Bears. Could we be talking about the Hammond, Indiana Bears?
That's going to take a lot
Ladies
of time.
of Virtue, the Chicago nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering, mentoring Black girls to become confident and purpose-driven leaders. They're hosting Black Girl Rest, the ultimate self-care experience. They're going to talk to us about that. But first, this is really important. Funding Future Chicago is holding its 14th annual fundraiser to support Down syndrome research through National Down Syndrome Society, which is definitely important.
Yes, and we have two special guests here with us. Thank you guys for joining. I know it's been a busy kind of behind the scenes, fiasco. A lot of people coming in for the 10 o'clock hour. We appreciate you guys coming in. Founder Margie Doyle and her son Colin, who's a self-advocate for Funding Futures. Thank you guys both for coming.
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's talk about Funding Futures. What inspired you to start it? For people at home who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about the initiative.
Well, when Colin came into our world and we were introduced to Down syndrome, my husband and I had spent a lot of time becoming familiar with everything that meant. And I happened upon a foundation in California that was doing Down syndrome research. And at that time, it was really in an effort to understand Down syndrome. But then once the genome was decoded in early 2000, the research really took a giant leap forward, because they were going to understand genetically what was going on, and therefore they could make changes to improve the health and cognition in Down syndrome.
Let's talk about the importance of having a normal life, right? An everyday life, some independency, right? Not feeling like you're tied to your parents. Colin, tell us, really what all this has meant for you, your family taking this deep dive, taking this initiative to understand you better.
Well, it's because I meant what a real life looks like around the world for us to have this, disability going on, and for everyday lives, we're just going through some independency for every day of our lives, and that's why we're just trying to be the same people, just like you all, for every day of our lives, from just like the same way as you guys.
That's exactly right. What are some of the things that you like to do day to day? That you can tell everyone you're not limited to one or two things. You're probably very active. It seems like it, at least.
Yeah, I am always active every day of my life, really, but it's okay. Well, and the reason why I'm active, because I am always spreading positivity every day of my life. By waking up every day of my life, I always spread positivity that I cannot stop by loving everybody that I can love, and the only thing I can do is dancing and do a lot of stuff that makes everybody happy. Yeah. And that's what I do.
Yeah, he has great impact with his dance moves on TikTok.
I love that.
And at our event.
And at our event. See it, Colin. We're going to have to look you up on social media.
We got to watch and follow. I wanted to ask you, because obviously we're talking about your son, but you did this to really benefit other people.
Yes.
Tell us about how you've been able to impact others as well.
Well, I was inspired. I had the good fortune to be a presenter at the United Nations at the first World Down Syndrome Day convention in America. And I was very inspired by all the self-advocates. And I wanted to make a difference, and our family makes a difference. We were first introduced to fundraising through the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and so it was an easy leap for me to think, okay, what can we do here as a family? And so for 14 years we've worked together, and we've raised $1.4 million.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
That's huge.
We're looking at some of the pictures right now of past fundraisers.
Yes.
All right, tomorrow is the 14th annual.
It's the big day.
What can people expect for this?
To have a lot of fun, be very relaxing and have a lot of fun and be entertained by this gentleman when he takes the stage.
I love it.
I want to ask you,
already see it, Colin.
You know, as a parent, because, you know, sometimes you don't know what's going to happen when your child is born. You don't know what condition they may have, and that sometimes is a challenge for parents to really deal with. Can you talk to the fact of how you were able to address this right away, be an advocate, because some parents find themselves kind of in a shell, not really sure what to do. You know, maybe somebody's watching right now and they're in that situation and they don't know where to start.
It can be overbearing. Anything that you don't understand brings out fear, so I really wanted to dive deep so that I could eliminate that obstacle, and understanding things and empowering him and making a difference is the best thing you could do for anybody, and including myself. But it's an honor to advocate for other people, in particular my son Colin.
You know, that's so great. I will say I have a very good family friend who has a family member who has Down syndrome. And I remember my friend getting, you know, hearing the news, getting the diagnosis before her brother being born. Yeah. Best person, you know, that have ever entered our lives. It was kind of, her mother was kind of hesitant to, you know, seek advice, I guess, beforehand. What do you say to parents out there, or anyone who has someone new that's going to be welcomed in their family, who might be hesitant to get that advice, I guess, beforehand, or you know, nervous and shutting down?
I think you can overcome any nervousness. As I said, fear is what, you know, escalates that. And there's plenty of resources. So the Lowry Foundation, which is research, just merged with NDSS, and this foundation has been in operation for almost 50 years, and they advocate, they create policy change for individuals, and there are so many resources available to overcome whatever fear or misunderstanding you might have. And the beautiful piece of the research now is we've come so far that we have 3 clinical trials underway right now to prevent Alzheimer's disease in Down syndrome, because every individual with Down syndrome will have the neuropathology of Alzheimer's disease by the age of 40, and that is because of the APP gene sitting on the 21st chromosome that's duplicated. But we have 3 trials going on right now, and private funding is critical. It is a vaccine that will trigger the immune system to clear the amyloid plaque. It is a FDA-approved therapy and antibody therapy that will clear the plaques from the brain. And the other one is to silence the APP gene that is duplicated. So there is great excitement and hope to provide the future that every individual with Down syndrome deserves, because everyone deserves to dream of their future.
Absolutely, they do. And you mentioned, you know, your future. Already you've raised $1.4 million. Can you talk about where some of that money has gone? And then maybe somebody's watching right now, they can't come to your event, but they still want to donate. How can they make that happen?
You can find us on Funding Futures. Just look up Funding Futures on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We're on Instagram. We provide all the links and coverage there. But specifically, the importance of this money is to create these changes, because we only rely on grant money and private funding, and that's why this event has been so critical.
We like to see that. A lot of numbers up. A lot of numbers. That's what we like to see.
It's a lot of fun too. That's the beauty of it, is it's not a stuffy fundraiser. It's very fun.
Because you guys have some special guests coming, correct?
We do. We have Carmen DeFalco. He comes and he takes the stage with Colin, and that's where a lot of the energy and success comes from.
I love it. Colin, Are you proud of your mom? Can you talk about how much she's done to advocate for you, for others?
Change your life, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I'm always proud of my mom because she's the founder of Fun Future Chicago, and that's what I love. Because she is now advocating me about what life is, and see where my life takes me to the future of my life, and that's what I love by being myself and by being what I am and seeing what I can do for my whole life, with hope in my life.
I love your outfit. I don't know if Mom picked it or if you picked it, but you did a good job. Very fly dresser you are there, Colin. I wanted to mention that because you said it's not stuffy, and I noticed in that, you know, most people, when you got to go to these events, you got to find a gown in the back of the closet. It's not one of those events. Where is it happening tomorrow? And can you get tickets at the door? Or
yes,
can you just show up?
You can get tickets at the door, and it's in Forest Park at a bar called Robert's West Side, and we have great live music by Coyote Riot. They tear it up, so it's really a fun-filled evening. That's the beauty of it.
What time does it start?
The doors open at 6:30.
Perfect. If you're out, you want to get a drink anyway, may as well stop by and do it for a great cause.
Date night as well. Okay, Colin, I also have to ask you. You said you like dancing.
You gonna show us?
Is there a certain kind of dance that you like? Is there music that you gravitate to?
Yeah, I've been always loving dancing by doing a lot of moves and including the moonwalk that I create.
What about the TikTok though that you just did? What's that too?
And also that TikTok. But if you want me to show you, I will show you.
Come on, we gotta see a little something.
What's the song you did it to just recently?
Oh, well, okay. Well, I did the Juju in that beat. Juju in that beat.
Oh, yeah. Juju on that beat. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, what about the moonwalk? Did you study Michael Jackson to get this down?
Well, I did study because I've been watching a lot of dancing videos all through TikTok. So every day of my life, I've been always having my phone in front of my face.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. But it's okay because I'm gonna go to TikTok. I just searched up dance moves or hip hop dance, and then I searched up, and when I see this dance, I just scroll up, and then I'm like, okay, I'll practice it. And then I did practice, so I did every dance move that I do.
Yeah. So you're totally self-taught. You're self-made here.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you're doing private lessons.
No,
You're doing this on your own.
Yeah, just open myself for the love of God. For everybody.
I love that.
You know what? And God blessed you with some great dance moves. Even the Juju on your beat.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
He can do the whole thing. Yes.
Can we have a sneak peek of the moonwalk, or is that saved for the fundraiser?
Well, yes, you can say the moonwalk if they want to say it.
Go ahead.
All right.
I don't know.
Wait, you stay on the
stage.
Just right here. This is your stage, right here.
All right.
Yep, there you go.
Oh. Okay, don't go off.
Don't fall.
I don't fall.
That's pretty good.
He doesn't fall.
No, of course. How dare I even say that? Great job.
Amazing.
Where's that round of applause, you guys?
With the studio audience.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, Colin, thank you guys so much for
coming.
Thank you
for having us.
One more time for people at home who want to just follow you guys throughout the year, not just for the fundraiser tomorrow, where can they go online?
They can go to Instagram, I would suggest, also Facebook for Funding Futures, and the ndss.org foundation.
Margie and Colin, it was such a pleasure. Thank you both for taking time out.
Thank you very much.
Next time you come in, Colin, we're going to have some music.
We'll have it ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
You'll teach us. We'll be dressed for it.
Yeah, we're going to be ready for it. Thank you guys.
Sorry for the cough. But yes, I'll teach them some dances and stuff like that. And also, for today, we're gonna spread some positivity and see what the life of a kid with Down syndrome can do, what they can do, about what the people can do for us to do the same thing as them.
Anything is possible.
Love it.
With
Sounds
that
like it
attitude.
for sure.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
Because impossible is possible.
Impossible is possible. Wow, I'm going to keep that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a very good one, Colin. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Okay, every so often we get blessed with their presence.
Yes,
Kenzie and Roman are back talking about some trending stories around Chicago. Well, and beyond, really.
Welcome back, guys.
All of it. Expertise in a lot of things.
We dabble in a lot of things.
We dabble.
Expertise.
Okay, well, I don't know. You guys at least seem like you know what's going on.
Okay.
They do.
But it's funny, whenever I think of you guys, I also think about the Cubs because I follow you guys on social media, and it seems like, I mean, you're big fans. I see your boys all dressed up.
Yes.
And that's part of our conversation today.
It is.
Is talking about a new slogan.
Yeah, so every year they come up with a slogan that's kind of like the Twitter hashtag and everything. And this year, me and my wife are very, very split. So this year it's hashtag this. That's the thing. It's this.
What? Wait, what?
Right?
I don't like
it
this.
seems like you need to finish.
I don't like this. Yeah.
Like this what?
So it's like, you know, this is Cubs history. This is a home run. This is magical. This is Wrigley Field. That's their thing.
This is half a thought. That's how I feel about it.
Well, I get it because it's kind of like Gen Z slang a little bit. Like, oh, this.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Very I am him coded.
Yes.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
It seems like a play off this Chicago.
I mean,
Maybe?
it's just this, right? So like,
it really is just this, right?
when you walk into Wrigley Field for the first time, you feel that magic, right? This. When you see the ivy in the summer, this. It's kind of, so she hates it, I love it. I mean,
And he defends it. You would think he wrote it. I'm like, do you have a different job I don't know about? Because he is so worked up about it.
I'm not with it. I don't get it.
Thank you.
I am a self-proclaimed psycho Cubs fan, so
Yes.
sure, I'm more of a homer, but we can kind of go over the list they've done every single year.
let's talk
Some of
about
your
it.
favorites, okay?
Because it does this. For me, it's in waves.
It's a
Like
wave.
they hire someone new every year, apparently, and some of the employees are great and some are horrible.
All right, so tell me your favorites. So back in
Okay.
2015, it was Let's Go. Hashtag Let's Go. That was good. I thought it was good.
Fine. Okay.
In 2016, the magical 2016, when they won the World Series, it all starts here. All right?
I like that one, and it did because
And
they won.
When they got into the playoffs and the World Series, it was Fly the W, which I love that one more than anything in the world. Every time the Cubs win, they fly a W flag, so it's classic.
That one stuck. That one stuck with us.
Yeah, you still get
So we still say that, right. 2017, that's Cub. You know, so like, I come from the high
nails
one.
on a chalkboard for me. Like it's Cubs. Like where's the S?
2018, they doubled up in 2019 as well. Everybody in.
I like that.
Okay.
But they'll phone it in next year. It was the only time they copied. The next year, they're like, we like this.
Yeah,
Just keep
that
it.
much we'll keep it.
Coffee break.
Everybody
2020, you know, obviously a crazy year because of COVID and everything. Where stories play. I didn't love that one either. I'll be honest with you. I didn't love that one. Right. Okay.
I don't like it.
21, Cub Together.
Which I think sounds like the song, like come together.
Right.
That's cute. I thought that was cute.
Right.
I like that.
22, one of my favorites. It's different here. Which
I
it
like
is true.
that.
It's different in Wrigley Field. It's different being a Cubs fan. That was a good one, I thought.
I like it.
That's
I like
clever.
it.
Yeah.
2023, next starts here. That was a good one, I thought. 24, you have to see it with the C.
The Cub.
Oh, I like that. It's
That's
clever.
good. Thoughtful.
Very
There was a
clever.
bit of controversy with that
You should be
one.
very careful
I'm gonna be very
right now.
careful.
Why is this X-rated?
No. But they had to change the spelling on Twitter because it was reminding people of something that they shouldn't have been thinking about.
When you
type it out.
posted, you have to see it.
I
They were kind of getting roasted.
See it on Twitter and a hashtag looked like something they didn't want tweeted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did tweak it, and then it was on Twitter at least SEE it, see it.
Which is a
But-
bummer because I thought it was one of their most creative ones, and
I like
humanity
it.
ruined it with their thoughts.
As they do.
All right, 2025 until last year was Be Here For It. Okay.
Which is like such a ticket push to me.
It
Like,
really
you
was,
really got to be here. You should buy tickets.
Right.
Every game.
Yeah.
You have to be here.
I don't like this though. That's just.
2026 is this.
It needs something.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
missing
It's
something.
It's missing a lot.
So they stuck with Fly the W and just.
You like Fly the W?
I love that
kept
one.
That,
Yeah, I do
not
too.
through 2025, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm confused, and I wonder if you guys agree. They do a new slogan every year, and I'm like, you know, nobody else does this. McDonald's isn't like, get rid of I'm loving it. It's a new
true.
year.
right.
If they had the same slogan the whole time, you would know, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah.
You would know the Cubs slogan.
Yeah, I
Why
agree.
every year are you trying to rebrand?
I think Fly the W was the one that I remember the
Yes.
most.
Yes.
We still see
Which
it on
makes
flags.
me think
People
they should have
still
stayed
do
with
it.
I think Fly the W and Go Cubs Go are the two that are like
Yeah, that's a
classics.
good one.
Right.
Forever, and yeah. So.
And I'm like, I don't think you need a new one.
All right. Don't get mad at me. I didn't make it up.
But it could be anything. Next year it could be baseball, and he gets the best. They're playing baseball.
Well, yeah,
it
when you're a
totally
fan.
works.
I admit that I'm a
Old
homer.
men. That's old.
But were there any that you strongly felt like were bad?
Yeah, I
Being a
think.
fan?
I think Where Stories Play. I didn't love that one.
Yeah.
I think
I was kind of, that's Cub. I know you don't like that one. At first, here's the deal. With this, if you see the hype video, it makes sense. So I recommend if anybody's on the fence, watch the hype video they put out. Then it gets you jacked up. It's like, this, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for that, you know?
Yeah. For that, maybe the hashtag should have been that.
Oh, whatever.
That video is great.
Excited for the season.
Okay, this is funny.
Interesting.
Okay,
very interesting.
Earlier this week, we talked about some drama that was happening in the MLB. Yes. I was like crawling, and I hope that you guys have more details on this because there's a scandal.
A big scandal.
Big scandal.
Huge. So at first, okay, so no matter how bad your week has been, I promise you, Tony Clark's week has been way worse. Okay.
Amen.
Tony Clark is the former head of Major League Baseball's Player Association. Okay. It broke earlier in the week that he was forced to resign due to fraud. Okay. I'm not going to bore you with those details, but a bad thing. Fraud. And we're like,
not running the business correctly, enriching himself
like,
and others.
That's bad. That's bad. No.
Shocking for a higher up in power. You know, that never happens.
You think that's bad? It gets way worse. Okay.
What could be worse than that?
A couple hours go by, and a very respected baseball expert and reporter comes out and says that Tony Clark had hired his sister-in-law to work for the union.
Oh, I heard
he is in charge of, and then goes on to have an affair with his sister-in-law.
So wait, let me get this straight.
Okay,
this is his brother's wife?
I have.
We don't know yet.
Okay, so they have protected the identity of the woman.
His wife's sister.
Right, or his wife's sister.
Or his wife. Oh, Lord.
And I was like, oh, well, let me dig.
I forgot about that.
So I was like, let me dig. Let me, because the name's not out. So he does have a brother. The brother is married, so that's a possibility. I look up the wife, like his wife. She has multiple siblings, so it could be multiple women, and they're not releasing. I'm like, who got hired by the Players Association?
Because it could be his wife's brother's wife.
Right, so there's a couple. So she has multiple sisters, multiple brothers. She has a couple, like a handful of siblings.
I'm sick.
But every article that's been released with it instead of 3 days ago, like a day ago, has said her identity is protected. However, Tony only has one brother. Every article, so I feel like people are like, I'm not allowed to release it, but there's hints that it's probably
in that family.
It's probably the brother, his brother's wife, is what articles are leaning towards.
Let's play a fun little game here.
This is fun.
How do you keep that a secret at the family table?
What is worse, okay?
Okay.
They're both horrible.
Yes.
But what is worse? Cheating with your brother's wife?
No, don't ask
Or
me
with your sister's, your wife's sister?
I have an answer.
What's worse?
I think wife's sister's worse.
Really? Why?
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Right. Because
I think
every single memory is tainted if it's your wife's sister. Think of all the family gatherings. Think of like, oh my gosh, my man's gonna meet my family. The whole time you were fantasizing about my sister. But if it's your brother's wife, not everything you have together was tainted. You guys have a real bond. He wasn't always wishing he was with the other person when he's with you. So I feel like that taints the entire relationship, leering eyes towards your sister the whole time.
Right.
Think about wedding dress shopping. Your sister was there.
I would be in jail.
Prison.
Period. No matter who's involved.
Shocker,
I'm not going to say prison.
And if I'm on the jury, you're innocent. You better hope I'm there.
I am actually on the opposite side of Kenzie here. Where I think they're both horrible. I mean, we all agree they're both horrible.
Yes.
But
let's hear a man's view.
Hold on. So either way, he cheated. So he was disrespectful to his wife regardless.
Period.
So you're a bad person, right?
Yes.
But the brother is your family that you grew up with from day one. And I mean, that blood is thick in the water thing. So not only were you a scumbag cheating on your wife, you have now betrayed the closest thing to you, your brother, by cheating with
But
his
your
wife.
wife should be closer to you because that's the person you pick. That's the person you make a vow to. You don't make a vow to your brother. You can hate your brother.
Say blood is thick in the water.
Maybe that was it though. If it is the brother's wife, that he did always dislike his brother.
Apparently she was thicker than water. Okay. More interested in her.
You went there.
You said it, not me.
Jail either way.
Yeah, I would be in trouble.
Yeah. No one's getting out alive.
Here's the question: what do you do if you're the wife?
Now they have 3 kids together.
That's exactly my point.
They have 3 kids together. He has a lot of money. I say you take most of it and you go live a fantastic
life. I say you take all of it.
Amen. And you live a fantastic life because it's older kids. So it's
you can start over.
Out.
You get another husband if you want one.
Yeah.
You travel. You don't have to worry about him. I'm not doing that. The public humiliation.
Yeah, you already have so much shame. Like as the wife who's getting cheated on, you already have so much shame. So it would be easier, at least on the wife's perspective, to know it's your sister-in-law, not through blood.
Right.
You know, like your sister.
Yeah, like she doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
Now you can enjoy your family.
You can enjoy your family. You can go to them for advice and for
go to functions and
instead
not
of
see
having
the person.
so much anxiety and family had to take
I would not want to be in that situation.
Could you imagine?
Horrible.
Everybody knows about. That would send me. Do not publicly humiliate me.
This is horrible. You know, this makes me as angry as the story.
Have any worse?
The story a couple weeks ago where it was like the skier or someone in the Olympics was calling out his
he won bronze, and in his speech he was like, I met the love of my life 6 months ago. I cheated 3 months into our relationship. I want her back. That's what his speech was about. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to take you back to go tell everybody.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing.
How about men learn how to keep it?
Well, never.
Never. I mean, this is a good example of honor the vows. You took the vows before God.
Yeah.
Keep it in the pants.
Yeah. Can I ask one question though? As the only guy on this panel?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just
allow you to be here today.
Can I ask one question, Representative? Do girls cheat?
Absolutely, they do.
So it works both ways. Like
women cheat differently, though. I will say, women cheat mentally first and emotionally before physically. And oftentimes, women may not even go there physically, but they will go there emotionally.
Because in this situation, if it's the brother's wife, she's horrible too. And or if it's the wife's sister, she's horrible too.
Right. But I will say, I think a lot of times, not always, but we're talking about majority rules. There's always outliers in every situation. I think a lot of women cheat when their relationship's horrible and their husband's not paying attention because they're craving intimacy. Men can be in a fantastic marriage with the woman of their dreams and be like, I like that short skirt, and ruin everything. Well, I don't think women have that level of impulse, traditionally.
Right.
So,
and I think money. I think if money's involved, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It's way worse.
Well, if I'm gonna leave a man, I hope he has a lot of money I can take. I would rather. I mean, that's
100%.
That's an ideal situation. I would rather come out.
We run into the
bank. Whole bag.
We all run to the bank.
Like a say in a sack. I would much prefer that.
I agree with you. If you don't play me, I'm gonna
be rich. If you're gonna play me,
you did your research, and could you find anyone who had that job title and was connected?
It's completely concealed. I looked at every situation. I was just hoping he didn't have a married brother or she didn't have any siblings. So then we could. But I'm like, dang, both. But every article, and not the old ones, not the ones from 3 or 4 days ago, all the current ones are hinting at his brother, Greg. He only has one brother, which makes me think they've gotten leads, but they can't confirm the information.
So wait a minute. He had hired the woman and he's sleeping with the woman.
Yes.
So he's giving her money and giving her the
everything about it was shady. Everything about it was shady.
And if it is the brother's wife, she is all up it. She's like, I love these brothers. Let me tell you something. This is my family. She loves the whole family.
Wow.
The whole family.
I mean, she's getting paid and laid.
There you go. Wow.
You're right.
Horrible. I'm mad for the people. I don't even know these words. I'm so mad.
Every week we're getting some kind of rage bait. I don't know what it is.
So mad.
What it is.
All right.
Let's switch gears.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Chinese New Year.
Yes, we are.
Right after this break. And really some of the things you shouldn't have done.
Yes.
I think I did it.
Oh, no.
We'll be right back. I think so. We'll be right back.
to Chicago.
All right, welcome back. So if you didn't know, now you know. You may be too late too. Monday was the Chinese New Year, which Kenzie really follows, and apparently there's a lot of things that you're not supposed to, including washing your hair, which means you could wash your wealth and good fortune away.
Wealth and good fortune away. You weren't supposed to sweep. You weren't supposed to chop. I actually did all my food prep the night before and had it in the fridge.
So you really did this?
Oh, absolutely. And we'd have a group meeting.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
If I hear that shower in the morning, I'm going to kick you out of this house. You're not going to wash our wealth away.
What did you do with the kids?
They could wash their body. We just didn't wash the hair.
Okay.
Right? So we just kept that cute. And I had to take a little washcloth to the peanut butter. My 2-year-old's there. I'm like, oh no. So to keep him right. But a lot of people don't realize. So, you know, you start the new year, like when you're in America, top of the year, you're excited, new year, new me. And some people still feel like the bad luck follows them. Like, I thought this was going to be a brand new year. But if you're very into this, the Lunar New Year didn't start till this past week. So that's really when your fortune could change if you're following it, the Chinese New Year. And by the way, very important, shout out to all the Chinese and Asian creators who actually allow us into their culture and share this with us. If you're gonna learn it, make sure you're learning it from them. Don't whitewash your information at all. But what a lot of people don't realize about the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac, is you're like, oh, it's like you're the horse and you're the snake and all that. But there's so much more to it. So we just left the year of the wooden snake, which was assigned to feminine energy. So they receive an animal, they receive an element, and they receive a male or female energy.
Why are you smiling over there?
Yeah. Roman,
you got a problem with the female energy?
Do you remember before the break?
Yes.
You were already in trouble.
No, 2 things. 1, I love how much she loves this stuff and how much she believes in it. And 2, I don't believe in it. So it's like one of those things where like we have this marriage where she's like, don't wash your hair. And I'm like, I have 2 gigs today. Like I have to wash my hair. Like we're so split
Not
on
up in
this.
this house.
So I'll let her finish and I'll kind of combat it. But,
okay, well, I think it's really important. And now the year of the wooden snake, snakes a lot to do with shedding, but it was also assigned to female energy. And now some people wrongly think that that's going to be a weak energy. Of course, we know better.
Yes,
and especially in Chinese culture, that's a foundational energy. And then wood really signifies branches and growing. So think of like a tree in its roots and you were growing. So as we enter the fire horse year, that was the element, which is assigned a male energy, that's going to be very outward. So I hope you grew your roots. I hope you grew your foundation because this is then the growth outwards and that's how it doesn't get out of control. So I'm like, listen, we're entering fire horse. You need to get together, okay? Like you can't, I need you to set the tone right because that's an energy that can get out of hand quickly.
Okay.
If you don't, now he never believes in anything I'm saying when I'm like,
he's just like,
and my stars and my moon. And I'm like, you're telling me that the moon can affect the tide, but you think it can't affect you? The whole tide of the ocean, you're smaller than that.
He don't even know what she's talking. Do you know what she's talking about over there?
No. So Monday night we go to what I think is a really innocent, fun family dinner at Red Robin. Me, her, and the boys, right? And we're living it up, right? And all of a sudden she goes, okay, a couple things about tomorrow. You can't wash your hair. I'm like, wait. I'm like in mid-burger. I'm like, wait, what? She goes, you can't wash your hair. Don't you dare wash my wealth away. And I'm like, what? She's explaining to me this whole Chinese New Year thing. I'm like, well, first off, we're not Chinese. Like, it's not even, I don't follow this stuff. She's like, but you don't understand. If you're going to wash my wealth away, so I can't wash my hair. All these things that I can't do, right? And I had
to tell him not to clean. Not that that was a huge
that was
concern.
I was like,
not that I was really stressed about it, but I just shared.
But honestly, I had 2 big gigs on Tuesday. I'm like, and I have the kind of hair, whatever. I have the kind of hair that I have to wash it before I style it. I can't like wake up in the morning. So I have that kind of hair. I go, I have 2 important things going on Tuesday. I have to wash my hair.
What did you do?
Well, what I did was I went and took a shower on Tuesday morning. I did wet my hair, but I didn't wash it. So it wasn't.
I said you can wet it down.
It wasn't my A game. It wasn't my A game, but whatever. I didn't want. Honestly, I was in the shower. I thought, she's not gonna know. I'm like, I don't want to lie to her.
You don't want the drama.
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine if our life would have started falling apart financially? You would have been like,
yeah, right.
I washed my hair.
Right.
She was right.
You know how I was talking about the Cubs last segment? You see how much I love the Cubs? She loves this stuff. And she just, her TikTok algorithm is all this stuff. I mean, I hear her go,
hashtag this. You know what I mean? Hashtag this stuff.
Right. So yeah, I don't believe in it, but she heavily does. So I have to sacrifice for her beliefs.
Did you follow or not follow?
Because
you said you love superstitious.
I kind of feel the same way. way, actually, Kenzie. I feel like a lot of my algorithm is stuff that like you shouldn't be doing or should be doing, or like health tips, whatever.
Yes.
I also heard that day that you shouldn't wear red. Where in the past, I mean, usually you are encouraged to wear red on Chinese New Year, on Lunar New Year, because it brings good luck. But they said that it might be too fiery.
It's too fiery.
Too fiery.
They were promoting still bright colors.
I'm with you now because I ain't noticed.
It's all too late now. Because during the normal, like New Year, I guess normal, you're not supposed to also wash your clothes. You're not really supposed to clean either. Like there's some other things.
No deep cleaning. Clean your wash away
that day.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really thrown me off, though, I will say, with the hair washing schedule this week because of that, because I also did not wash my hair.
There you go.
Poor Caitlin Cody the next day was like, oh yeah, my hair's so clean because I washed it, because I was supposed to wash it yesterday, and I go, no, Caitlin.
It was the opposite.
It was the opposite. She's like, no.
No. She didn't do it on purpose, so I think she'll be safe.
Exactly. If you have good intention, maybe.
I think it's all about harnessing positive energy is the true thing. So you can spin anything positive. You could be an alchemist in my terminology.
Is that what I am?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. But and you can turn anything into positive energy. Like I believe in vibrations out there, and doing these things are just ways to harness that, if that makes sense. Manifest it on your own.
But there's all kinds of like interesting superstitions out there. We have some examples that come from online, like this one, which I found, they say it's out of Brazil, but I have heard this since I was a child. Placing your purse or wallet on the floor is believed to cause a loss of money. Has anybody ever stopped you when you put your bag on the floor?
Yes.
It's happened to me since I was a kid.
Oh yeah, my grandma, my mother.
Yeah,
there's
mine
a lot
too.
of people. Plus, if you have a nice purse, you don't really want to get it dirty.
I don't want it on the floor anyway. I've never encouraged that.
I'll always tuck it behind me or something. But I always think when I see one on the floor, like,
oh, girl, your money gonna be low. That's what I think.
And sometimes he throws his backpack down, and I'm like,
nothing on the floor.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Your shoes, that's about it.
See, I go as far as the backpack, guys.
Oh.
You do.
no.
Okay.
You
now
would?
it's changing. Now
You would put a backpack.
That's your version of the purse.
All you guys need to say is one thing, and I'm easily.
And the list grows.
Yeah.
No backpack, no
backpack.
purse.
That's the man purse.
This is, what's the next one that you
Turkey,
got?
never chew gum at night, as it is believed to turn into the flesh of the dead. That is great.
That's crazy.
I don't.
I chew gum all the time.
I mean, that's just interesting. I mean, I'm not dissing anybody else's beliefs, but I mean, it's just something we've never heard. I've never heard this until today.
I do believe that if you hear certain knocks at night, you should never answer.
Oh, yeah.
They say that's like spirits of the dead, like in the witching hour. So it's like my door knocks at a certain time. It's not gonna happen, Captain. Okay, absolutely.
I had to read this like 3 times to make sure I'm understanding it.
Yeah,
it says exactly what it says.
And you're like, no, that's the dead. Yeah. It's pretty dramatic. Yeah.
Well, now I'll never be able to not think that, and the second it doesn't taste good, and be like, oh, it's the flesh in my mouth.
That's exactly right.
crazy.
That is exactly right.
That is really okay. So in Italy and Portugal, walking backwards is believed to bring bad luck. But who can really walk backwards for real?
Our 2-year-old loves walking backwards.
Oh, he does if you go backwards.
But I don't know any adults that's standing up and just like, oh, let me. I mean, maybe moonwalking.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Moonwalking.
Bad luck.
Michael Jackson.
But that's kind of like a dance. That's kind of
that's
like
not the
slide.
same.
That's a slide. Let's say we're safe.
Okay.
Moonwalk is safe and Mark's safe.
Yeah,
On the
we're good.
You're marked safe when you moonwalk. I want to skip over.
This is hilarious. The Rwanda one. You got to read that one.
Rwanda. Okay, women are told that eating goat meat will cause them to grow a beard.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
No.
That's hilarious.
You know what? Here's the thing. We shouldn't have even said it because
then it sticks. Because I feel like you get a pass if you've never heard it, but the second you hear it, if you do it, that's how I feel about superstition.
Block this segment. Just block it out.
But I will say, I don't eat goat meat, but if I don't go get a wax, I look like a goat. So, I mean, I can understand. It could go many
The damage has been done.
I've said on here.
It could go many ways.
I grow a mean mustache. I'm not going to lie. Japan, tucking in your thumb while passing a graveyard is thought to protect your parents from death.
Tucking your thumbs?
Tucking your thumbs.
Tucking your thumbs while passing a graveyard is thought to protect your parents from death.
Interesting.
You know what I still do to this day?
What?
I learned it when I hold my breath.
Yes, when I go with my
You're like
every
graveyard?
I know. You know, have you ever gotten?
Yes.
Hold your breath.
The reason, like, I mean, I just heard it one time. I think it's like to protect yourself from death or honor the ghosts.
Honor the dead, protect
honor
them.
the dead. So hold.
Okay.
But imagine going down a really long graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've only broken this on like 290 when you pass it. I got stuck in traffic and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I can't breathe.
Or you would have died.
I'm like,
I mean, what would have been the alternative?
Yeah,
Death?
Kenzie, just look for the gap. When I see a sidewalk, in there,
okay, then
driveway, then
You two are like spirit animals.
So you guys,
you guys should hang out. You guys are like.
You know what? I don't think I've told a lot of my family and friends that. I think I just do it silently.
Yeah.
I did hear one
because
time.
of the judgment we're receiving right now. So
I'm not judging. It's different. I did hear one superstition is not on here. I did hear when I was a little kid in church, I fell asleep one time, and this man told me, he said, if you fall asleep in church, spirits that jump out of other people will jump inside of you. I have never fallen.
Like Insidious.
I have never fallen asleep in church ever since, no matter how boring the sermon has been.
Wow.
No matter what circumstance, I sit there the whole time like, the whole time.
And I'm on the other side. I don't believe in any of this stuff. I really don't. I have no.
I don't either.
None of it.
I don't believe it either.
I need to protect myself from you.
You're still here.
I know, I need some holy water.
I'll go backstage real fast. You guys have your...
You're scaring me.
Okay, we got to talk about this because this, some people think is a superstition. They think it's a joke.
Okay.
The Chicago Bears talking about going to Hammond, Indiana.
Yeah.
Some people think it's an actual play, that this is a move to get the state of Illinois to cough up some cash. You looking at me mad. What's up?
I hate the idea of Indiana. But you know what? I hate the Bears in downtown too. I need a parking spot. They need to go to Arlington.
Yeah.
I'm getting angry about it.
So I think all along, honestly, this is a leverage play. I think I do not see the Chicago Bears playing in Indiana. I know they're offering a sweetheart of a deal, though. I mean, Indiana really is rolling the red carpet out, and they're making it.
They're like, just never pay us. They're like, never mind, we'll just do it.
I think at the end of the day, my hot take is I think the Chicago Bears are going to land in Arlington Heights. I think that's where they're going to be from now until I die. But a couple of fun facts here, guys. If the Bears ended up moving to Indiana, let's say, okay? The New York Giants and New York Jets both play in New Jersey, okay?
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers play in Santa Clara.
Correct.
The Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington, Texas. The LA Rams and Chargers play in Inglewood. The Buffalo Bills play in Orchard Park, New York. This is not uncommon if it did happen. I still think that this is a leverage play. I do not see them going to Indiana for real. I think, again, my hot take is the Bears will end up in Arlington Heights. That's what I think they want to do, where they want to be. And we live in the suburbs, so we're all for it. We're like, bring them out. Let's go.
Has anyone else, can I just ask you both a question? As I see these things and I see the courting of the Bears happening from everybody, I am like repulsed because it's like all these billionaires are like, well, what are you gonna? We shouldn't have to pay for the stadium, and we shouldn't have to pay tax. Like, you're the only person who can afford the taxes. Like, no local person in Arlington Heights or Indiana or Chicago gets to go, I want to open a restaurant. And they're like, you know what? Let's give you. You don't even have to pay us for that restaurant.
Yeah,
you go ahead.
Exactly.
The Bears can afford it. Why are they build your stadium and leave everybody alone? You don't deserve a tax break.
The counter to that is, though, the Chicago Bears and their stadium generate so much tax money for
that is beneficial.
You want them in your area.
I understand, but nobody else works like that. Anybody else who opens up a great business that brings it, they don't get that.
It's not comparable to the Bears, though. It's not comparable to the stadium and the entertainment.
And to the fallout thereafter from the stadium.
No, but the rich get richer, and it irritates me. It irritates my soul.
I think that what Indiana is doing, though, that is very smart, no matter if the Bears show up there or not, is that they've opened the door for another team to possibly come. So I think that is a potential,
That's exactly right.
you know, a possibility.
They're keeping their options open.
I will say,
speed dating.
It is like speed dating.
It kind of is, yeah. I will say that it will be kind of annoying for the fans. Like, yes, okay, there's the South Shore line that'll take you over to Northwest Indiana. You have the
infrastructure isn't
that's
there
going to
yet.
cost you $16, or you can take I-80-94. It's going to take forever. You know, with Arlington Heights, you have Metro, right? At least you can like count on that to go. But either way, if you move out of downtown, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like if you want to have a little extra fun and you know, drink, you don't want to have your car there. It's just going to be kind of a little bit of a nuisance.
Well, they want you to stay. They want you to stay.
The thing about Arlington Heights, Soldier Field is what it is. Like that, if they stay, like they can't build the entertainment district that they can in Arlington Heights. Arlington Heights, they can make it Wrigleyville on steroids in Arlington Heights. They have all that.
It would be a fun area to be in.
They'll have restaurants. They'll have bars. They'll have all these venues. It'll be a really cool complex. And I'm assuming Indiana probably wants to offer the same. That's why I think that, you know, you keep, and also, by the way, if you move to Arlington Heights and have this dome, you can get the Super Bowl, you can get all these big events, all these big concerts, and the Bears benefit from that. Taylor Swift performing at Soldier Field, the Bears don't see a dime of that. But in Arlington Heights, with their own stadium that they own, Taylor Swift being at that new venue, they profit off that. So I see all signs leading towards Arlington Heights. It's kind of in the middle of like Chicago and all the suburbs out there. Indiana is a stretch. that, you know, you're moving out of state now. And that's like, you're the Chicago Bears from Illinois, Arlington Heights is Illinois, but Indiana's not Illinois. So that's why I think that that's a stretch. But then again, if it's too good of a deal to pass up, you know, it makes it very enticing as a business to do that.
All I can think about is parking. I need to say, I am so tired. I hear something's at Soldier Field and I'm like, never mind.
It's because of the parking.
The journey, I feel like a hobbit crossing Middle Earth. Like, it's unbelievable.
Especially with the shoes you like to wear.
Oh, with the shoes she wears.
But it's the worst. And then when you leave and you all funnel under the bridge, all I see is belly buttons. I'm 5'2". I don't see the end in sight. I get anxiety. It's $75 a hop on a bike that goes right inside.
That's true.
I just want to go. Like, even the United Center has an easy way to get out and get to your car.
So Arlington Heights would be better for you.
I think Arlington Heights. And then I swear I would prefer Indiana over downtown Chicago. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of $100 parking and I'm still walking 45 minutes. It's insane.
It's a bad situation.
To get inside an outdoor stadium, so I'm cold outside and I'm like, oh, I got inside, but I'm still outside. It's freezing.
That's true.
I hate it.
You're right, though. But you can say it. We can't. All right. Thank you both so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having
us. We'll see you Not in a month?
In a month.
We're on monthly right now.
All right.
Think about things you want to gossip about. We'll be back.
We'll probably have a whole lot in a month.
Just
to
don't
talk about.
rage bait again.
Yeah, I won't. I'm sorry.
All right. Coming up next, we are talking to one of the founders of the Ladies of Virtue. Stay with us right after this break.
InsureOnTheSpot.com.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. We are talking all things Ladies of Virtue. The Chicago nonprofit organization is dedicated to empowering the lives of young girls all across the Chicagoland area. And right now they are hosting Black Girl Rest, the ultimate self-care experience, which sounds so amazing. We have Jamila Trammell in here with us. She's the founder and CEO of the Ladies of Virtue. Okay, first of all, you look good with this pink one.
Thank you.
You're giving Love Day.
Oh, yeah.
You're giving Love Day. And then the box says Love Day. So what is this all about?
So in honor of Black History Month and in celebration of Valentine's Day, we created our own holiday, Love Day, right? And this is all about showing Black girls that we see them, we hear them, and we love them. And so we created Love Day. So last week we kicked off on Valentine's Day on February 14th, where we had over 50 volunteers to pack 700 boxes for Black girls across the city and Atlanta and Washington, D.C. This is a national initiative, and where there's health and wellness items for Black girls, and this is really a time to just show our love.
What's in the boxes? I gotta ask.
So there's tons of hair care products, nail kits.
I know.
We have all things girls love, hair bows. We even have candy, Black History facts. So this is curated by girls for girls.
Why did you think that this was important? I mean, I feel like once you do pamper yourself, you love yourself more, right? You go out with a new shining confidence. Is that kind of the purpose?
Yeah, so during the pandemic, it was in 2021, as we were going door to door, providing our girls and families with resources, we saw how Black girls were really disconnected from family and having anxiety around social anxiety and so forth. And we said, what can we do to truly show our girls that we care long after this pandemic is over? And so that's how Love Day was born. And so you're absolutely right. It's a time where we're pouring into our Black girls, showing them that we care and letting them know that they are worthy of everything that they are given.
Talk about that part where it says girl rest, because that's something that a lot of women, not just Black women, but women in general and girls don't have the opportunity to do. It seems like you got to carry it all. You don't get to rest. So talk about how important it is for women to really hone in on that, and young girls too.
Absolutely. So the name of our event is Black Girl Rest, the ultimate health and wellness experience. And to your point, the name Black Girl Rest came from one of our mentees in our program. She said, you know what, rest for us is revolutionary because we're so busy tending to our families, tending to our siblings, you know, in a million events. We have to work, we have to go to school and all of that, that there has been no time for rest. So she was saying that how important it is to come up with an event such as this where we're really sharing with our girls, like, yes, this is a time where you can pause, where we can pour into you and know that you are truly worthy of love. So that's what this is all about, absolutely.
You know, I love this because you're not going half on anything. This is all out. This is beautiful. I mean, you have people cheering. I could just imagine what the energy's like. For Ladies of Virtue, is it mostly, you know, what you guys do on Love Day? Is there more that you do throughout the year?
Yes, so Ladies of Virtue is all about empowering girls ages 9 to 24 to become confident and purpose-driven leaders. So Black Girl Rest, even with tomorrow's event, is led by our girls. And this is a time where we're pouring into them. We're teaching our girls leadership, development, career readiness. We're building their character, and they're able to pour back into their community with these events like Black Girl Rest. But we have so many different programs. We're in 24 program sites across the city of Chicago, and we serve over 3,000 young women and girls annually. So this is something that we are doing for this month, for Black History Month, but we're definitely supporting our girls throughout the year.
Talk about tomorrow's event. I know it's not completely open to the public, but maybe somebody's watching right now and they want their child to be a part of this, or maybe they want to be a mentor. How many girls do you currently have? How many more can you take? And what kind of mentors are you looking for?
And we opened up spots for this audience, and so we are definitely sharing with the group, sharing with the city that you all definitely can come. So Black Girl Rest tomorrow is for 4th through 8th grade girls, and then on February 27th is for our high school girls, 9th through 12th grade. And so we serve over 3,000 young women and girls annually throughout the year, but we are pouring, even though we have programming specifically for our girls, we're very intentional about serving the girls of the Chicagoland community, which is why we are offering 2 Black Girl Rest conferences this year. Throughout the year, I hope girls and their parents will get plugged in on our website and join our newsletter and all of that, because we have summer internships that are open to the public. We have mental health summits that are open to the public. But also, we want girls, many girls, they find out about Ladies of Virtue for the first time through an event like this, and then they become mentees, long-term mentees of Ladies of Virtue.
I love that. Jamila, thank you for opening it up a little bit to our audience, because it's always a bummer when it's something so great and it's like, oh, it's closed, you're gonna have to, you know, mark your calendars for next year. If someone at home is indeed like, okay, you know, this is something that I want for, you know, some of my life, do they go to your website right now? Is there a certain code for Fox Chicago viewers?
Absolutely. So they can go onto our website at lovchicago.org, and then they can just click Contact Us, and then that way they can identify which programs they would like to participate in, whether that is our conference for tomorrow, or if they would like to become a mentee. We also have spring break programming, summer programming for all ages 9 to 24.
Awesome. I want to ask you this. We only have 2 minutes. They gave us the flag, but my thought was this. You know, we've had a lot of nonprofits come here and they're struggling because of funding, but it seems like you're thriving. What's going on? Like, is it donations from private private funding. How does that work? And if anyone's watching, can they donate?
Oh, absolutely. You can donate. So, Ladies of Virtue, one thing that makes us unique is that we're not just direct service. We're out here advocating for Black girls as it relates to restorative disciplinary practices in Chicago public schools. We're educating teachers and mentors about how to build authentic relationships with Black girls, and we're training our workplace partners on how to develop positive youth internship experiences. So when our funders are seeing the work that we're doing, they pour back into the impact that we're making. And so people can definitely go on our website, lovchicago.org, and click that donate button.
Where were y'all at when I was growing up?
Okay.
It looked like so much fun.
This is amazing. No, thank you so much, Jamila, for coming in
sure.
and for what you do throughout the year, throughout Black History Month. I mean, this is the real deal.
It is real fun, it sounds like, and real enrichment.
Thank you. I really
So thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. We hope you have a great rest of your day, a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.